In a recent Twitch stream, Asmongold received a ton of backlash from the community on Twitter and Reddit after stating about going with Balthazar Tom Homan on a deportation raid, dressed as Ash Ketchum, and then streaming these people getting deported in the following clip and ends up getting called out on Twitter. Then later, Asmongold deletes the VOD. Here's what Asmongold said during this stream.
One other thing. So like, they're doing this thing with like these deportations where they bring in like celebrities to deport people, and it made me wonder, what is the probability that Tom Homan would let me go with him dressed up as Ash Ketchum with watching them do deportations? Like, I feel like it's probably at least 5% chance, right? Like, I think we're at a 5 to 10% chance that this could happen. Yeah, exactly. That'd be really good content. It would be. And yeah, probably not gonna happen though, but it would be funny. For the love of God, you must try. Yeah, it'd be hilarious. And yeah, your statement about not voting to disadvantage yourself is really blowing up on X with strong support. Well, of course it is. Of course, it's just a logical perspective to have. Now, there's a bunch of emotionally unstable retards on the internet that like to distort reality, but no, of course I'm not going to vote for somebody who's going to say that someone else is going to have a privilege that I can't have. Why the f would I ever do that? That's the most retarded thing you can imagine. So no, of course, that's like, I mean, why don't I just vote to have somebody shoot me? Like, what is this?
Incredible lack of humanity. Incredible lack of basic human morals. This is one of the worst days in these people's lives, and you're joking about dressing up as Ash Ketchum and filming them for content. You've lost your effing soul. What the actual happened to Asmon's content? The Dep trial thing broke him. Chuds flocked to him during that, and Asmon realized that the kinda edgy gamer misogyny jokes could actually make him way more popular if he did them seriously, instead of for the absurdity factor. I'd agree that before that he was still pretty right-wing thanks to decades of living with his insane InfoWars-watching mum, but he was very much more of the libertarian live and let live variety. He would often surprise me with how well he was able to articulate good defenses against chatters who were being bigoted or rude, and was extremely generous to LGBT people, even if you'd get a blue-haired SJW joke. Every now and then, he stopped playing games after the Dep trial, stopped interacting with his long-term friends, especially McConnell, who was basically a live check on Asmon's ego for years, and immediately had his YouTube algorithms spiral into right-wing punditry, as a result of them banking off their success in being correct on the Dep trial. I don't think Asmon is necessarily evil, nature v nurture, but he's definitely being evil right now. I think he's a perfect example of how social media algorithms right now are tailored to lure people into insane and inescapable rabbit holes, in order to keep them hooked to the screen for more revenue.
After Asmongold's backlash, Emiru talks with chat and shares her thoughts on issuing apologies for others.
Should I also issue an apology for everyone I've ever worked with who said something that's obviously shitty? And I have to just like destroy people's jobs because of it? Yes? Okay, yeah. That seems fair and reasonable.
I don't really care that much about what Emiru does in response to the whole Asmon stuff personally, since I don't watch her, but she shouldn't be surprised that some people are going to scrutinize her and other OTK members as well for stuff that Asmon does when they're all in the same org. It's not as simple a connection as just being friends. When one member of an org gets into controversy, it spreads to the entire org to an extent. It's like how companies often get held accountable by some people for certain actions their employees do while at work. Ironically, Asmon and his fans kind of did something like this a while ago towards Avowed and their dev team due to the actions of one art director on Twitter. Same thing here, some people are judging OTK because of the actions of one of their members, owners, anyone who I've ever worked with. You literally have a weekly podcast with the guy who is consistently problematic, that you will continue to do under the guise of saving people's jobs, as if Asmon himself wasn't largely responsible for the huge layoffs the company endured recently. So yes, if you're going to keep working with him, the least you can do is apologize for it. There's nothing to apologize for. Just stop collaborating with Asmongold and push back on what he's been saying. Also, stop acting like it's just a few out-of-pocket statements when he's really one of the largest right-wing influencers.
In recent news, Erobb has faced a Twitch ban. Yesterday, Erobb was in the middle of his Twitch streaming marathon when his channel was suddenly removed from the platform. On his Twitch channel, it says the content from his channel has been removed at the request of a copyright holder, a message showing currently on his Twitch channel. As the news broke out on social media, viewers shared posts speculating that Erobb was showing various TV shows and other potential copyright material while completing his puzzle that might have led to his ban. Here is a clip.
Dude, I have not feel like being like, is anyone else like this?
Just kidding. Erobb hasn't publicly commented on his suspension, but his older brother Tyler 1 had something to say. Here's a clip.
Erobb got banned? Wait, why is Erobb banned? GG. Hope it's permanent. GG.
You just know he filed a false DMCA claim on himself to get out of doing the puzzle. Reminder that he needed to finish this 1,000-piece black puzzle in one stream. When he's back from his however long ban, he will have to restart. The run is absolutely invalid. We all know what happens to Twitch when Lamont is banned. OTK will no longer exist when he returns. Last time Erobb was banned, it was for a month for threatening to punch a viewer of his in TwitchCon. The viewer is like one of his consistent hate watcher and they banter. Anyway, that 1 month while Erobb221 wasn't here, all hell broke loose on Twitch. The universe balances out by shoving all the available bad luck into Erobb. But without him here, it's chaos. XQC Hassan arguing, XQC Soda arguing, XQC Adept breakup, crazy slick allegations, slicker gamble issue, Ms. Kiff tied into crazy slick allegations. All that during that 1 month of Erobb being banned.